Welcome to our webinar this morning. We're glad you could join us. I'm Chris Kolchak, Marketing Coordinator here at Power Engineers. Today we're going to dig into leveraging your investment in data to improve safety, reliability, and regulatory compliance. We'll identify many challenges organizations face and then demonstrate how our GIS-centric solution, Power 360 AMS, helps to overcome them. We'll save time for live Q&A at the end, so as questions come to mind during the presentation, please add them to the Q&A box in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. Now let's meet the panel. First up, we have Steve Kerr. Steve leads our Asset Management Implementation Department. He is a software engineer and technical architect by training and currently leads a group of asset management consultants, analysts, and software developers at Power Engineers. Steve is certified by the Institute of Asset Management, and over the past 28 years, he has focused on delivering work and asset management solutions to utilities around the U.S. and abroad. Next is Kevin Miller, a strategic consultant at Power. Kevin started his career with First Energy, where he worked for 23 years in GIS, asset management, design, and capital projects. For the last 13 years, Kevin has provided expert guidance to customers, product development, and sales teams to develop solutions that apply technology and process improvement to achieve business value. He understands the utility business and the systems that support the business at utilities and has worked with many of the largest utilities in North America. Also joining us is Jana Weir. Jana is the Systems Program Supervisor at Independence Power and Light. A software engineer by training, Jana has administered the electric utility software applications for nearly a decade to provide the city of Independence, Missouri with reliable electric power by maximizing their business processes. Jana and her team have worked with Power during the past few years to implement the underlying Power 360 AMS technologies for IPL's generation, distribution, and substation departments. Steve will now introduce you to Power Engineers.
Thank you, Chris. Before we start talking about Power 360 AMS, let's introduce you to the company behind it, Power Engineers. We were formed in 1976 by two electrical engineers in Pocatello, Idaho, and have since grown to over 2,500 employees in 50 strategically located offices throughout the U.S. and Canada. It is important to note that 80% of our staff are focused on energy projects. The company is divided into a number of divisions. The largest division, Power Delivery, contains experts in electric transmission, substation, and distribution. We are one of the top design firms in the transmission design sector and are also highly acclaimed in substation design, substation automation, and distribution design. This division also has experts in distributed energy resources, energy storage, power testing and energization, cybersecurity, program services, power system studies, and many other areas. Next, the Generation Division specializes in the design of gas turbine, geothermal, solar, wind, coal, and other generation technologies. They also provide plant operation services. Environmental is comprised of environmental engineers who support our clients' electric, gas, and facility projects. They provide services from site planning to permitting, air quality and cultural resources, as well as mapping and analysis services. The Facilities Division provides architecture, civil, structural, mechanical, and electric engineering services primarily to the food processing industry. And finally, our Geospatial and Asset Management Division, which Chris, Kevin, and I represent, is a technology and consulting group that provides geospatial, asset management, and system implementation services for our energy customers. We are comprised of Institute of Asset Management certified consultants and project managers, software developers, data migration experts, and business analysts, averaging over 20 years of experience implementing business solutions to the energy sector. We are an ESRI Gold Partner, the first company to achieve the utility network specialty, and the first to propel one of our customers into production usage of the utility network. So Power Engineers has the unique combination of utility experts who have spent their careers working for energy utilities and seasoned software solution providers with a track record of successful engineering, consulting, and system integration projects. Now that you understand our background, Kevin is going to describe some of the challenges that our customers face and that Power 360 AMS helps solve. Then we'll give it into a demonstration of the platform.
Thanks, Steve. You know, customers who want to evolve their asset management processes face several challenges. Let's review some of the most typical and important challenges. So first, effective asset management requires accurate, current, and actionable data. The most common problem we encounter when working with customers is data issues. And the first step is usually a data assessment. GIS is an important source of data, but other asset information may be tied up in disconnected systems or paper. Now, challenge 2, it takes current, accurate information in the field to operate today's complicated networks. Paper maps or digital maps that aren't complete or have old information just isn't enough. You need accurate, up-to-date asset information, which is usable and current. Any effective asset management program must be able to get information into the field. The key to having actionable information is a solid plan to collect and maintain the data. Many of the customers we work with start out with workflows that have evolved over time. These workflows often cross disconnected systems where duplicate data entry and paper-based integrations are prone to degraded data. Understanding the information needed to effectively manage assets and then designing workflows and system integrations that assure the data is not lost and is current is critical. Systems designed to work together make this much easier. Most utilities have GIS and inspection and survey programs in place. Problems arise when the information is not readily accessible to the people in the field who need to make everyday decisions. It is often not enough to know where the transformer or switch is located. You also need to know its condition. And then for challenge number 5, without adequate asset information in an actionable form, it's impossible to understand where capital and maintenance dollars will have the greatest impact. Identifying poor performing assets, especially those whose failure would have a significant impact, allows the accurate targeting of spend. Without effective targeting of spend, budget dollars can evaporate without moving performance metrics in the right direction. So for companies embarking on an asset management program, the journey is typically a progression. The first step is almost always an assessment of what information they have, where it's stored, and its quality. Next, an asset management approach and plan can be developed based on the current status of their information and systems. Work can then begin on a roadmap to get the information, systems, and approach in alignment with their goals. As they move forward with an asset management plan, they can move from a reactive approach to a preventative or predictive approach to asset management. Company goals should guide the plan to assure important business metrics move in the correct direction and are proportional to spend. So now Steve is going to introduce Power 360 AMS technology. Steve?
Hey, thanks, Kevin. So what is the technology behind Power 360 AMS? Power 360 AMS is built on mature, proven technologies, namely the Esri GIS, which provides the asset repository and a host of applications for managing and analyzing that data, and it is built on CityWorks, the only GIS-centric public infrastructure management platform on the market. As you'll see during the demonstration, the platform serves up applications that can be accessed in the office as well as in the field on tablets and smartphones. By being built on the ArcGIS platform, you can leverage your investment in Esri technology and utilize applications like Insights and Operations Dashboard for analysis and work management, Collector and Survey 123 for field data collection, and of course, the new ArcGIS Pro set of applications. The CityWorks application suite includes base products for managing service requests, work orders, inspections, permits, and projects, as well as add-ons such as Storeroom for material management, Operational Insights for asset business risk exposure calculations, workload management, and other analysis add-ons. Finally, the platform provides for efficient business workflows by providing robust integration mechanisms. For example, some of our systems integrated with include SCADA, ERP and financial systems, utility billing applications, outage management systems, engineering design applications, and citizen engagement platforms. But Power 360 AMS is more than just software. It includes people, methodologies, experience, as well as the technology. As noted on the last slide, it is built on industry-leading technologies, Esri and CityWorks, whose location-based technologies far exceed major competitors like SAP and Maximo, but we should note that Power 360 AMS can also coexist with those systems. It includes our power delivery and generation engineering staff who bring equipment and asset performance experience to our customers. It leverages intellectual property gained over 25 years of implementing work and asset management solutions for generation, transmission, and distribution clients. And we utilize proven methodologies that include reusable templates, data models, inspections, work orders, dashboards, and reports that are specific to the energy market. And finally, Power's people make the difference with a deep bench of subject matter experts in both technology and utility operations. Now we move on to the demo. So as we get into this demonstration, I'll let you know up front that we're doing just a high-level overview of functionality. The platform is very robust and we only have a little time today, so I'll quickly show the platform components. If there are any elements that you would like to see in more detail, we can follow up with some individual demonstrations at a later date. We're going to show you the Power 360 AMS solution by following the 7 challenges that Kevin presented, showing how the platform can help address each of them. The first challenge covered earlier had to do with having a complete and accurate set of asset information. Asset management knowledge bases refer to this as the asset repository. As expected of a GIS application, the system is great at managing distributed assets, whether it is your transmission network, your distribution network, or your services down to the meter. The application is built on GIS, and the work and asset functionality are totally synchronized with the map. Users, whether in the office or the field, have access to all the GIS data. All asset information is kept in the geodatabase without any need to link to other asset databases. The data set we're looking at is from one of our customers and includes pretty detailed distribution, service, and streetlight data. As we zoom in, we get more and more detail. I'll zoom in around the substation and the neighborhood around it, and we'll see that the distribution network is colored according to the phase of the conductors are carrying. As we zoom in even further, we'll see that we do now see the transformers and other devices, as well as service lines through to the service points on the address. If we have a look around this substation, we'll see in this data set, the substation is really modeled from the dynamic protective devices on out. So in addition to viewing the data, the user can interact with the data. Here I'll select a transformer, and we'll have a look at the information stored for that transformer in the geodatabase. I prefer the, so this information, all the information available in the geodatabase is now available to the end user of the application. Next, I'm going to talk about three-dimensional data. This is one area that we're seeing great interest, whether it's for vertical assets like generation or substations. Esri's 3D technology has jumped leaps and bounds recently, providing fast, efficient access to data for end users. Currently, not many clients have 3D data, but that will become more commonplace over the next few years. Here, we are viewing a 3D substation model that our development team created by taking 3D CAD data, converting it to 3D ArcGIS, pushing to ArcPro, and connecting ArcPro with Power 360 AMS. Let's navigate around the data a little bit. We'll zoom in so the user can interact with the 3D model and go on and select assets, and then with a click of the button, be able to pop over into the work and asset management side of the application. Yet another way that we can model your asset data is through the use of schematics. Some of our customers are very used to dealing with and visualizing their assets schematically. For example, one of our generation customers uses piping and instrumentation diagrams when planning work on their assets. So we took these diagrams and put them into the GIS, allowing users to interact with these features graphically. Here, we're looking at the condensate system of one of our customers' generation plants. Zooming in, we can see the details of the system, the storage tanks, some of the towers, the feed water heaters and pumps. And the user can simply select one of these features and go and have a look at its attributes, as well as a look at the work history for this asset. We'll see it's been involved in a number of annual preventive maintenance and a few corrective maintenance work orders. So to sum up this asset repository section, I encourage you to think beyond the traditional role of GIS for asset management of distributed features, and consider it for management of plant and substation vertical assets as well. Next, we'll move on to the next challenge. Challenge number 2. This challenge we talked about was getting current and complete information that supports situational awareness in the field. It is important that users have access to asset and work information, whether it's in the office or in the field, and on a device that suits their needs. Power 360 AMS provides multiple user experiences for these different types of users. Here, we're looking at the office application. As I showed you before, this has access to all the GIS data, and it provides a complete set of functionality to create service requests, work orders, inspections, projects, reports, and many other pieces of functionality. The application has a tabular side that is integrated with the maps, but it also has the map application. I'll show you a few things on the map side. It has a standard set of GIS-based functionality. For instance, it has bookmarks. And these are configurable for the user. The user can save them, or we can have them set up to be shared by groups or by all users. Of course, we have a legend. And the legend will show all the information available in the map, and the user can turn the information on and off and make them selectable or not. We also have location ability, so we can enter addresses and geocode them, as well as measurement tools, heat maps for doing some spatial analysis, a robust layer search, the ability to edit data based off of permissions assigned for the users, redline tools, base map tools, and finally the ability to create on the map service requests, inspections, work orders, and cases. If we have a closer look at the inbox, we'll see that we can tailor each person's user experience. So an inbox allows us to set up for each user or each group of users that information that they want to have at their fingertips to do their daily jobs. Here I have an inbox set up that shows my daily work. Everything, all my open service requests in a tabular format as well as on a map. My open work orders, again tabular and on a map, and my active inspections, tabular and on a map. We can also set up tabs to be shared by users performing common functions. So in this case, everyone involved in the streetlight maintenance will have access to this inbox, where they can see open streetlights, again on the map or on the list, and they can keep track via charts progress of their work. Another example is tech systems. So the group that's responsible for maintaining SCADA and other communication networks could have their own inbox. And again, available data can be in tabular or chart format. And finally, really an inbox can have anything. Any URL can be put into an inbox. So you can make weather feeds available to your user. In this case, we just pulled up some Twitter feeds. So one thing I do want to point out in the Power Twitter feed, our very own Kevin Miller has a series, a 3-part series on asset management that I encourage you to read. So let's move to options for field workers. Here we have the Respond application, so named for its responsive user interface design that accommodates many screen sizes. I'm running it on an iPad right now, but it could also be run in your office on your desktop computer. Respond is a connected web-based application and has access to the same data as we saw in the Office application, but it just has a different user interface geared towards field personnel. However, because of its slick user interface, we find that many of our Office users prefer this application. The amount of data shown in the application can be controlled. So as we go into and drill down into service requests in this example, we can streamline this interface for the purposes of the user audience. Some people will want to see less, some will want to see more. Well, let's have a quick look at the map. You'll see the map actually looks very similar to the Office application and has access to the same set of functionality as in the Office app. One other application that's available for mobile users is a native Apple as well as a native Android application. Here I'm showing the native iOS app running on a tablet. The user interface is similar on an iPhone, albeit with smaller screen sizes. There are two main features to note about this application. First, it is able to operate disconnected from the network. The user can sync data when they're on the network or available on a cell network, and they can download their work, as well as download any map tile packages for use when they're offline. Second, it is focused on providing a simple, easy-to-use interface for field crews so that they can have their work on their device, perform it, record it, and move on to the next task. For example, they can easily click on work on the map, pull it up, view attachments if there are any. In this case, we have some schematics available or some engineering diagrams available. And then they can record comments about the work that they performed, as well as enter label, material, and equipment used to perform the work. The inbox on the application is similar to the Office app in that it can be customized per user. And we'll see that if you look along the bottom, we have a tab for the work orders on this user's plate, the set of service requests, inspections, as well as permitting cases. One last thing I'll show you is that this application can be synced up with other Esri apps. So going to the Share button in the top, we'll see we could immediately jump to the Respond or the Server apps, or we could jump to Collector or Navigator if you have those applications on your tablet. So as you can see, the Power 360 AMS platform provides applications for both office and field workers, allowing them to access the data they need in order to perform their day-to-day responsibilities. Let's look at challenge number 3. That was how systems can be deployed and integrated so that they support efficient workflows that assure the capture and maintenance of work and asset information. To show how Power 360 AMS can help an organization achieve efficient work processes, I'll just show a couple of integrated workflow examples. The first workflow deals with customer and citizen requests. So let's have a look. So a service request is simply a request that comes either externally from your customers or from citizens, or they could be internal service requests from within your department or outside your department. A number of our customers use this interface for their call centers. So call takers will type in information, either an address or a name, and then that has access. Usually we tie it to access to your utility billing customer list, or it can be tied to any other set of customer information that you have. The call taker will have the ability to see what other incidents this caller has called in about, and then they'll select the type of problem that the customer is calling about. Here we'll say they're calling about a streetlight malfunction. The application also supports some automated questions for, say, novice call takers to make sure that they capture the proper information for each problem type. Another way to enter the service requests is via the web. The application has a robust set of APIs that allow us to create websites to allow citizens and your customers to enter service requests. In this particular example, we have Power Engineers' own service request website. So this can be embedded in your organization's website, and it'll let the user navigate in and select where their problem is, type an address, or if they've accepted it, it could automatically zoom to their location. It walks the user or the caller through a number of steps. First, the location, then the problem type. We'll say a streetlight malfunction. Seem to be a lot of those these days. And then enter their data. It does provide the opportunity to have cookies so that your frequent problem callers won't have to retype, and we can either use the location they indicate on the map or their address location. Okay. They can also upload attachments, and we could have reCAPTCHA in here to prevent spoofing of the system. Now, we've also integrated the platform with other third-party citizen engagement systems, such as Government Outreach, SeeClickFix, and CitySource. So no matter how the service request is entered into the system, whether it's from the caller and entered directly, or it's through a website, or through a citizen engagement application, all the information is going to be available to users of the application. And they'll go straight into this set of, in this case, the user inbox for streetlight maintenance, and the appropriate people responsible for that will use the mobile or field apps in order to respond to those problems. The next example of an integrated workflow I'd like to talk about is that of design work. So for all your capital projects, they'll go through a process, really quite an elaborate process, from design through to construction and all the way through to financial closeout. Now, CityWorks is not a design application, but we have integrated it with a number of graphical design applications. In the example I'm going to show you here, this is the result of integration with Schneider Electric's ArcFM Designer. So the design is performed in ArcFM, but the whole process from the request through to design, through to construction, through to financial closeout is all tracked within Power 360. I'll show a few points here. The task, this indicates that workflow that this work order needs to follow. Anything with an asterisk indicates that there's integration involved. For instance, the first one indicates we're notifying of their financial WAS system. Next sends off to design. So this tracks the request and design through to the construction and financial closeout and as-built process. We'll also see that the list of assets that were created as a result of this work order are recorded within the work order screen. And we also get a list of costs. So we can track the labor costs required to do the work, the material costs, equipment costs, if there are any, permits, and a total work order cost. The last thing I'm going to show you on this is the materials. So the system can track both estimated and actual materials. Here's a list of estimated materials. So this is a set of materials that were included in the design and passed over into the work order via the integration. We'll see that we have a number of assemblies in here. So the platform supports the concept of material assemblies. Let's have a look at the actual material. So the actual material used on that job, we retrieve via integration with the warehouse. So everything that was checked out of the warehouse and put for that work order gets pulled over here. So this allows us to do before and after comparisons of materials. Now the platform also does support a storeroom application that can be used for material management within your warehouses. A couple other examples of integrated workflows that we have built include integration with financial billing applications for meter-related work and integration with outage management systems so that field crews can use these mobile products to tend to outages. All right, let's move on to the fourth challenge. The fourth challenge is getting good, actionable information into the hands of the people who need it to be able to make operations decisions every day. For this challenge, we'll show you how the data behind the actionable information is gathered. I'll start by showing the inspection module of the platform. The platform is ideally suited to managing inspection programs and preventive maintenance cycles for any type of asset. Here, I'm going to go to the map, and I'm going to make sure that my pole inspection layer is turned on. Now I have a set of pole inspections down in this area. Let's have a look at one of those inspections. I'm going to pull it up over here. All right, so this inspection form is completely configurable for an organization. In this case, we've taken, we're looking at wood pole inspections, and we've set up a set of questions, or what we call observations, and a set of answers. So it allows the user, whether in the Office app, but normally on the Field app, would go through and answer their questions. You can set up multiple choice questions, yes/no questions, free form text questions, and so on. Okay. So the keys are, one, this is configurable for organization, and two, we have access to our own power engineers who can provide guidance on what should be in these inspections. And that'll give your customer the starting point, and then we can tailor them as required. The other key thing about inspections is that all of these questions and answers can be weighted and have scores, and they're going to add up to calculate a condition score. So that is how the condition of your assets are going to be recorded in the application. Okay, a couple of other points about this. You can also provide the ability for your users to edit attributes of the asset while they're doing their instruction or doing their inspection, or just provide a view into all the information available for that asset. And they can also add attachment, takes pictures of the condition of the asset as they're out there doing the inspection. So now I'm going to go to, I want to show you one other thing. I'm going to go to a bookmark. There's a poll here with some interesting history. Let's go to that. I'll go here and select that poll. All right. I'm going to select that feature and go over to a function that we call asset analytics here. So let's have a look at the asset analytics here. So this is a nice form that allows us to select features on the map and then have a look at the history of work done on those assets. We'll see we have a number of work orders here. There's some general maintenance as well as a replacement. We have a list of the inspections that were performed. Cost history. So how much is this asset costing us over time? What are the attributes of this asset? And finally, the condition. So here we get a time-based sequence of the condition of that asset. In our system, a low condition score is good. So we'll see the condition of this pole gradually deteriorated until it was replaced in 2012, and then it had a very good condition. We'll see in the next challenge how this cost and condition data can be used to analyze assets to make informed decisions on maintenance and replacement. So our final challenge is how can we pinpoint which assets have the greatest impact on reliability and safety of our network? The final thing I'm going to show today is operational insights. This is a tool that allows users to analyze the condition of their assets and combine that with risk and consequence factors to determine where they should focus their efforts. The first step in this process is to set up an asset strategy that will determine two important calculations, namely the probability of failure and the consequence of failure. You can also factor in risk mitigation processes into the calculations. And these factors combine to derive a business risk exposure, or BRE, for each asset. For this demonstration, I chose to analyze wood poles. I used the pole condition derived from the inspection module and the age to determine the probability of failure. And then I used an estimate of the number of customers served by that pole to calculate the consequence of failure. I ran the calculations on all our wood poles and stored the results for analysis. Here, I'm going to open up the set of poles that resulted in a BRE of greater than 14. We can show these on the map. Let me zoom out and you'll see, wow, there are a lot of poles with that BRE of over 14. However, let's go back, let's narrow down that search a little bit. And here I'm going to open up the set of poles that have a BRE over 16. If we go back to the map, we'll see that it's a much smaller set. So these are the poles that really need attention. So given this set of poles, we can easily, either from here, create work orders for either replacement, refurbishment, or simply just for greater analysis. But there's another neat function here, is we have this map link. This allows us to share this information with users outside of the Power 360 AMS platform. So we can simply publish a map. You can copy that link, email it to others within your organization, and they can easily go in and see where these problem assets reside and pull up some basic information about the assets. So this concludes my part of the demo. Now Kevin is going to wrap up the demo by showing you one final analysis tool available on the platform.
Thanks, Steve. So part of the power of having asset management tied to GIS is, as Steve was just showing you, the power of being able to analyze your assets in a map. And so what I've got here is protective devices in this circuitry that are color-coded based on their safety score. So a safety score is a standard industry metric for circuit reliability, and it can be collected and used by pulling it into the GIS from an OMS. In this case, we're looking at ESRI's Insight tool, and what we're looking at here is a substation, first of all, and we can see there's 4 exits from the sub. 3 of them are good. They're scored in green. If I mouse over, I can see the actual score, 0.98, which is pretty good. But I've got one problematic breaker here, and that's telling me that the safety score for that circuit is 0.78, which is a little bit on the low side. So the capability I have here, looking at the yellow circuit out of the substation then, is to zoom out and look at the protective devices in that circuit and be able to identify devices with low safety scores. By being able to do that then, I can zoom in and know how to focus my attention on areas of the circuit that are actually poor performing. So instead of needing to go out and inspect the entire circuit because I've got a low safety score, I can send my field inspectors, right to the problematic areas, and they can, possibly walk down that circuitry and identify and correct those problems. That's what I wanted to show. And now I'm going to turn it over to Chris, and she's going to introduce our next presenter.
Thanks, Kevin. At the beginning of the session, I introduced our guest, Jana Weir, who is the Systems Program Supervisor at Independence Power and Light. Power has worked with IPL over the past couple of years to implement the underlying Power 360 AMS technologies for the Service Center, Generation, and Substations departments. Jana will give us a brief background on IPL, a summary of the ways they are using the technologies, and wrap up with the business benefits IPL is seeing from their use of the platform. Jana?
Thank you, Chris. Independence Power and Light is a municipal electric utility that's been providing power to our community for over 115 years. As a municipal electric utility, we not only provide power to consumers, but also maintain a full transmission and distribution network owned and maintained by the utility. We have a combined fuel cycle power generation facility currently utilizing natural gas. In addition, we have multiple generation substations with a combination of natural gas and oil-filled combustion turbines to provide the electricity required to meet our more than 58,000 primarily residential customers' demand. Most of our electric needs, however, are met through energy purchases with outside sources and our membership with Southwest Power Pool. You will see over the next few slides several called-out activities we're managing at the utility with our asset management program. A couple of highlights on the items from this group would include the management of activities related to efficiency. Our engineering and planning division is able to utilize their automated utility design program, AUD, for construction and as-built as needed, and with a click of a button can publish the items needed to our asset management program. Power worked with our vendor to extract the individual materials from our design construction standards in order to populate the estimated materials in the work order, in addition to a PDF of the design and as-built drawings as attachments. This capability allows field crews to generate a material list while also allowing us to compare estimated versus actual cost for each job. While each of the additional diverse functions shown on the slide is dependent on multiple divisions of the utility, we're able to assign unique workflows to each work function at the template level to properly route jobs to the next group without the use of paper. A few highlights on the items from this group would include the management of activities related to reporting. Our Fiber and Communications Division is actively managing activities from telephone troubleshooting to traffic signal repairs to new fiber installation. In addition, storm restoration and FEMA reporting is simplified as we can easily track the repair activity being conducted in the field at the asset level with the use of projects and child work orders. Each separate utility activity being completed in the field has a FERC code attached at the template level to assist our utility finance with the reporting needs. Our most recent development and deployments are centered around our generation and substation divisions. Our generation facility management consists of most aspects of generation, from annual maintenance activities to grounds management to coordinating repairs based on system downtime. Our substation division recently went live with the battery management activities, and as a NERC compliance activities, it is imperative that we are consistently performing governed tests within the defined testing cycles. Many of these tests are performed with third-party machines. Power Engineers has developed the ability for us to import the external test results into custom inspections. This capability immediately makes the data available for us to use and performing trending as we move forward. In addition to the above items, Power and Light is also making use of the storeroom module for inventory management. We're able to configure materials to track our FERC reporting requirements, along with assigning audit cycles, even with multiple warehouse locations. As you can see, we manage all of our assets using a single platform. Here are just a couple of screenshots of the application. In this slide, you can see a simple dashboard we created for the director to show the breakdown of work being tracked in the system. This set of screenshots show how we are tracking battery inspections, as well as the results of the importation of battery test results into the system, including flagging for warnings and failures. With the development team of Power Engineers, we have been able to seamlessly accomplish multiple critical integrations. While we wait for the implementation of our new Munis financial and payroll system to be complete, we required the need to manage inventory levels and time entry in our existing material management and JD Edwards system. Power Engineers was able to provide us with a robust integration for these processes that yields the flexibility to be adjusted as the new systems come online, which is imperative for our daily operations. We're currently in development with several additional integrations that will aid in further building efficiency within our utility. We discussed the substation battery testing capabilities previously, and we've now started working to bring the rest of their asset management, such as relays and transformers, into CityWorks. In addition, we're in development for integrations with two of our city's primary applications, utility billing and Munis. The utility billing integration will allow both the electric and water utilities to keep utility field service activities in Power 360 for tasks such as meter rereads and turn-on, turn-off functions. With the Munis integration, we'll be able to manage all of our materials and storeroom for the collection of job costs while also satisfying the finance department's need for bill payment and centralized purchasing tracking in their systems. With the use of efficient workflows and current integrations, we're able to seamlessly move away from blanket work orders and move into a more asset management-driven workflow without adding additional staff. Given that our staff is now working in one cohesive system, we have a consistent platform for communicating work activities and generating reports for management. By centralizing our information in an easy-to-search single source of truth, we can forecast with greater accuracy, make adjustments earlier, and stay on course to meet our objectives while efficiently providing reliable power to our community.
Thanks, Jana. Well, we've received some questions during the presentation, and we'll go ahead and get started with this one. Does the solution handle the utility network?
Okay, I'll take that one, Jana. Yeah, the utility network. So for those of you who aren't familiar with it, Esri is introducing a high-fidelity utility network model with the capability to model the utility network much more precisely and achieve greater performance in operations. So yeah, we have actually been working with this. We have launched, we have quite a number of customers who are helping migrate over to the utility network. It's really a game changer because of the extensive change to your data model in the GIS. And we have put run Power 360 AMS on one of our sets of migrated data, and it's worked fine. It's not formally supported on the asset management component of the application quite yet, but we expect that to be an announcement coming very shortly about formal support for the utility network on the platform.
Thanks, Steve. Here's the next one. If I'm using Wemys or Maximo for design estimates, can this solution integrate?
Yeah, I can take that, Chris. This is Kevin. So the answer to that's absolutely yes. So we've done integrations to Wemys. Also, if you're using one of the design tools like ArcFM Designer, we've created integrations for that also. And, you know, we have example sites of those integrations.
Okay, here's the next one. What if I have areas of territory that do not have cellular coverage?
Yeah. Hey, well, the native iOS application I showed you and the matching Android application can both be used in those situations. So they provide the ability to, before you get out of coverage, download your work information as well as your map tile packages so that you can, when you're offline, access your geospatial asset data as well as the work. You can record works, and then once you're back in cell range, you can, with a click of a button, sync back up to the network. You know, one other thing I should note is a lot of our customers actually have other field products. And so the solution, there are a number of other field GIS applications that already integrate with this product, and we have done some custom integrations as well. The platform has a very robust API set that allow us to create those integrations.
Great, thanks, Steve. This one I think would be good for Kevin. Does the platform offer a solution for damage assessment?
Yes, the tools that Steve showed also work very well for damage assessment after a storm, and give you the capability to go out and collect information about the damage you're trying to put back together. The tools like Survey 123.
And here's one. One of our attendees would like to know from Jana at IPL, what was the user acceptance like for office and field staff?
At Power & Light, our user acceptance has been exceptional. Our continued development has mostly been at the request of the end users. And I would say overall, we would definitely do it all over again.
Right. Well, we don't have any more questions at the moment, but we can certainly answer those offline. There's ways that you can connect with us, and we'll show you that in a minute. But I'd just like to say that we're glad that you can join us today to learn more about Power's GIS-centric solution for energy asset management. As we've shown in the presentation, when you apply this technology designed specifically for electric and gas utilities and implement it with the Power team's energy and business process expertise, you can leverage your utilities data to improve safety, reliability, and regulatory compliance. With Power 360 AMS, you can power better decision-making through improved energy asset management. So we've covered a lot of information today, but there is so much more in the solution to show you. So I want to encourage each of you to request a Power 360 AMS demo as soon as we sign off. Christy Norman, who handles business development for our geospatial and asset management business unit, can provide you with more information and connect you with a demonstration of Power 360 AMS. If you have more questions for our panelists, their contact information is also on the screen now. We'll bring you more presentations on how better data empowers better decisions throughout the year. On our next webinar, we will show you how to set up an assessment inspection program, monitor its progress, and analyze condition and risk to determine maintenance strategies. So look for an invitation in your email inbox soon. Thanks again for joining us.